Merry Meetle. It's me again. So, we currently have the straw mafia. Oh, she doesn't like the camera. No, gobble, gobble, gobble. Oh my gosh, she ate all the noodles. She hugged all the noodles. But basically, last night, the two broody mums, the wannabe mums, who are sitting on eggs, they moved all the hay from here to over there for their nest, whilst the other four girls were just here. It's just, and any time the four girls went near their eggs, they would hiss at them. So it was quite funny. But anyway, yo, my poor little Fenrir and Sigrid. Oh, she's hissing. Yo, you silly monkey. I love you. Yeah. Yo. Okay. Worrying news. Bad news or sad news. Now, if you are hypersensitive to animals that are sick, if it distresses you, stop watching now. Well, I'll warn you just as I get to him, I should say. So yesterday, my internet and landline was down. I couldn't contact anybody, and I really wanted to get to the vet yesterday, but I just couldn't, because I couldn't call to make an appointment or go in or anything like that. So Merlin, I did wash and treat everybody, but poor Merlin is not breathing well. He is literally struggling to breathe. Hey, Bubby. Bridget's doing well. Buffy's doing well. They've had their wash as well and treatment. And Bridget's feathers are even starting to come back because Merlin's not riding her. But my poor boy, Mr. Merle. Now today he's not eating or drinking. I basically syringed some molasses water into his side of the beak. But he's really struggling to breathe. His tail is also down, and he's obviously suffering. The girls are fine. I think Bridget especially is a little bit worried. I thought keeping them together still will help Merlin, but I mean, even the ducks are like, oh, what's wrong? I know, Suna, he's not well. We don't know what's wrong, so we're going to go to the vet. There's a couple of possibilities from what I can gather. An upper respiratory infection, or even a worm that gets into the trachea. Merlin hasn't crowed today, so he's either having his box that he uses to crow affected as well, or he's just too fatigued to crow, the poor thing. The earliest time I could get into the vet today was at 2:40 p.m. We're now at 11:30 a.m. Look at for him. What's going on with Merlin? I know, he's not well. Hey, poor Merlin. Yeah, he's breathing funny. What's going on for him? Yeah. Your poor fuzzball brother is not breathing well. No. What's wrong with Fawn? Hey, what's wrong with Merlin? Poor Fawn, he's watching Merlin, thinking what's going on with Merlin. Going past, they're all looking up. What is that? What is he? What is he? Oh, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a bird. No, it's a plane. What's going on for him? What's wrong with Merlin? He's not well. No. So, my poor mite. So I'm erring to the side he's got an upper respiratory infection. Like first thing in the morning for the past few months now, when he comes out the the sleep house. Every morning he'll let out a not a sneeze, but like clearing of his nostrils, but it's only once, and I thought maybe he's just doing that to clear out his nostrils from being inside in the house at night. But it could have been the early stages of a respiratory infection. Sooner. The problem with respiratory infections, it can also, not respiratory infections, there's a bacteria that can actually pass on to ducks from chickens. The acronym is MG. I'm hoping it's not that, because then I'm going to have a shit show on trying to make sure everyone's okay and treated. They do not share the same space or run, but I mean they're still in some sort of proximity. My ducks aren't showing any signs of ill health, and everyone's really well. Even my 2 hens are pretty good too, bar losing feathers from Merlin riding her, Bridgett, and some mite issue on the legs, which I've been treating, and they're recovering. But one of the problems with the boys with roosters is they will always feed everyone first. Their whole life revolves around protecting the girls and making sure the girls are all tended to at their own expense. So when their immune system's down, or if they're fighting anything, they're usually going to be the ones that aren't going to get the health and nutrition they need to fight things, because when you feed them all, the boys make sure the girls eat first. I mean, the ducks do this too. It's a boy thing, and it's very cute. We can cast shade on them for their rich rat behaviour, but at the same time, they do protect the girls. They feed the girls. They are obsessed about the girls first, and they do what the masculine is meant to do in life, and that's protect the women and make sure the women are tended to. It's just a beautiful thing. I don't think nature's got that wrong. What do we got? We got treats, we got noodles, we got some crackers. But poor Merlin is not eating, not drinking. We're in a bad way, Merle. Even his favourite berries, no go. But I think it's more that he is having trouble with his ability to get things down his throat more than anything, than loss of appetite or anything like that. So there's that sneeze. Whoops. So I'm going to go get my scrubs on. So basically my cargo pants from last night, and pull over, and I'm going to pick up Merlin, put him in I'm going to put him in my pram to take him to the vet this Arvo, the Abaya stroller I got for my ducks. But what I'm going to do, hey, who wants some oatmeal? Oatmeal? Oh, no, you're missing out. It's over here. Come on. Oh, you want the eggshells? It's not eggshells. Come on, Bella. But as awful as it is to show poor Merlin like this, I'm really hoping we can turn things around. You hear his breathing. So that's also another sign of that parasite in the throat. Now the problem with worms, there's different kinds of worms that poultry can get. If it's the one that can burrow in the trachea or the throat, it can live in the soil for up to 4 years. If it's the bacteria of the respiratory infection, it can literally stay with your birds for the rest of their life. Which means at any point of time, if they're sick, not sick, if they're distressed or the weather changes or whatever the reason is, they can come down sick. It never leaves them, and then they can spread the bacterial respiratory infection to other birds, including ducks. So in that situation, I need to know what's going on, because if it's that, then I would have to basically euthanize my Merlin, and possibly even the 2 girls if they become infected, because I'm not going to put them through that. I can't handle having an animal suffer unnecessarily. Like, if there's a limit onto how much care you can give them, and they're suffering like that, I can't do it. And in a situation like that, I would actually remove this entire run. I'd actually burn the wooden house, and I would also cultivate this topsoil, and then start lasagna methoding over the top and just grow things on top, and just remove all the chicken wire from this run, just remove the chicken wire, keep the frame, disinfect and sterilize the frame, and then use it somewhere else. But this would become a dead zone. So this is worst case scenario. Best case scenario, Merlin's just got a run-of-the-mill upper respiratory infection, and you're happy though, Bridgett. And we get him on some really strong antibiotics, and he'll clear up. So we will see. I mean, the fact that the girls aren't displaying this and it's just Merlin, in a way it's kind of a good sign, because, you know, again, because the boys are so sacrificing with food and treats and looking after the girls before themselves, it's very easy for them to get sick like this. So maybe there's a reason for the man cold, yeah? Oh, Bella. But anyway, I'm going to get my scrubs on, so to speak. And I'm sorry, you can hear obnoxious people. It's the disgusting degenerate across the road. He has all his druggy drongos rocking up there, sitting at the front, smoking, swearing, talking loudly, and it's just so irritating. Hello, babies. Love you. Yeah. Oh, oatmeal. We all love that oatmeal. Yeah. Very disheartening. It's very concerning. So yeah, I got my scrubs on. I probably should go get it now. You know, it's one of those things. No one wants to record an animal that's sick or distressed. But at the same time, especially in a day and age where when it comes to veterinary care, there's not a lot of hiccups. Hey, Freya! There's not a lot of avian specialists out there, you know. You literally have vets who refuse to treat birds. Like, there's this whole, it's almost bordering on discrimination, you know, and it's like, you do realise that if there were no birds, we'd have no trees, we'd have no plants, because the birds literally wake up the trees and the plants through the somata in the bird song in the morning. So the plant knows it's time to start. I've got to clear my pathway. There it is. So then the plant starts its photosynthesis. Yep, can see that coming. And Fargo grow. You know, birds are critical. No birds means no life. Anyway, no plants, no us, no nothing. When you look at it like that, the world can, I love my cat, you know I love my cat, but the world can do without cats and dogs. The world cannot do without birds, yet, you know, there's this massive lack of, I guess, level of importance to birds, probably because they're smaller, you know, they're treated as low value stock, they're treated as meat and all that. Now I love my babies, they're like little dogs with feathers, you know. Yeah, little Freya. Oh, got so much personality. And anyone who's ever had the blessing of owning a duck and has formed bonds with their duck or ducks will tell you straight away that they have souls, they have personality, they've got little quirks and idiosyncrasies, and, you know, no different to a cat or a dog, probably more so that you can argue. It's okay, baby. Just going past with the carrier. So, you know, at a time of all that, I think it's kind of good, especially when we have this sort of access to things, you know, videos and platforms we can share, because if someone else is going through the same situation, and, you know, knowledge, the baby, helps us make better and informed decisions, and if we share our experiences we can also share knowledge. So I obviously will do a follow-up after today. So I'm going to load this up before I go to the vet this afternoon. So cross your toes, cross your flippers, cross your claws for me and Merlin this afternoon, that we have good news and we can treat him and we find out what's going on. It's important to know what's going on, because you can't do proper containment. You can't properly treat not just the birds but the environment they're in if you don't know what's going on. So I will do the recording. Hopefully I come back with Merlin and we don't have to put him down, because there's no way I'm going to let him be like that, struggling for air. That's just, you know, it's just too much. My poor boy. I love you, my little mite. Yeah. Poor sweetheart. So the reason why I'm going to use this cat carrier for Merlin is it's all plastic, and I can just sterilise and hose this down quite easy. So I'm basically putting my scrubs on, going to line it with newspaper, some fresh hay, and I'm actually going to get Merlin now and put him in there, and then put him in the laundry where it's not warm. It's actually a little bit warm out here. So I'm going to put him in the laundry where it's dark, normal temperature, not the laundry, sorry, the bathroom, and let him try and breathe and recover without anyone watching him. Also, in part, to start isolating him from everyone else, because if it's something that can be spread, including to my ducks, then we're in trouble. So I'm sorry, it's not better news, but and also I don't script things, so you get things as I'm thinking them in these things. My poor boy, I know. The girls are grooming each other. It's quite fun, you know. I did use the eucalyptus wool wash to give them all a bath. The girls were okay once they were in the water. At first they're like, what the hell? Same with Merlin. My poor bud. So finishing off now. if Merlin can be treated, you know, we know what's going on and we can treat him. I will note something else as well. He does have a smell about him. I am very sensitive to smell. There is a smell about him which is almost like a bad breath smell. So, you know, that I know is another indicator. So, bad breath smell. The colour of his comb and everything's normal. His tail is now down. He's lifting his head up to breathe. He wasn't doing this yesterday. He was just doing that a little bit. Now he's doing it more. Check these two out. My Zoom is not working. Great. Yeah, it's not working. Sorry. The towel is down, and he's lifting his head up to try and breathe, get air down, and he's not eating or drinking right now. So they're the signs. He's standing okay, but he's not spirally like himself. His feathers aren't all sticking up. They're also, you know, sitting quite down. They're not ruffled and buffled and puffed up like he usually has. He usually looks like a fluff ball. Now he's like all, you know, subdued and all contracted, if you like. His afro is also usually sticking up. He looks like Sonic the Hedgehog usually, but all of the feathers on his head are sort of going down. So anyway, I'm going to scrub up or put on my stuff that I was wearing last night to get him, and I'll put him into that cat carrier, give him some more molasses water with the syringe. And on a lighter note, let's leave with Frig's Look at Me Antics. What are you doing, Frig? What are you doing? You're adding some lightness to the hour, huh? Oh, it's your beautiful boy. Look at that tail. Frig, what are you doing? What are you doing? Pop, 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 pop. Frig, pop, pop. Pop, pop. Pop, 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 pop. Whop. 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 I don't get that. If you sound like an obnoxious, druggy knot, why do you speak that loudly, swearing? Like, it's just like... And unfortunately the system helps sorts like that stay around, which it's like props them up, whereas decent people who are hardworking with families and contribute things to society, they have to struggle with every, you know, dollar and dime, whilst shits like that across the road just get to be the parasites to society. Just, it's awful. Hello. So yeah, guys, I am worried about my Merlin. Fawn, are you being a bully, Mr. Fawn? Hey. Fawn, yeah, oh, look at him pretending. Yeah, I can see your mallet haircut coming up. Yeah, spiky hairdo at the top, with the long bristles at the back. His 80s mallet. When he's going to try and be too obnoxious. And he's now pretending he's, oh look, I'm just preening. I wasn't trying to chase down Freya and, you know, pull her feathers out like I usually do. Yeah, look, I'm just preening. What? No, it wasn't me. Freya! Oh, and an update on Freya. We went for a walk in the stroller yesterday. I kid you not. There was an old lady who goes, oh my God! Because I had a duck in a pram. Like, so I almost afterwards felt like saying, what, my duck is not going to eat you. Like it was like really over the top. Oh my God! Like not in a how cute way, like oh my God, as if scared. Like people are so fucking ridiculous. But then there was this really cute baby who, you know, standing, she didn't stand higher than the carriage of the pram, and she had a dummy in her mouth, and she goes and, you know, goes up to Freya in the pram and just looks right at her, and Freya's just looking at her, and I was like, oh, that is such cuteness. It was such a cute moment. You know, it's kind of funny because the baby's used to being in a pram, probably seeing other babies in pram, and then she, you know, he gets to see a duck in a pram. So it was cute. What are you doing, Freya? Ba, 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 ba. Oh, anyway, I'm procrastinating now. Oh, Fawn, you're a good boy. Sitting there with Luca. Anyway, let's do it. Oh, I'm so hoping things turn out okay. My poor babies. And when I do the... Oh, I don't know if I should take him now. He's still, you know... He's struggling. I've got to bring him in now. Yeah, poor bub. Frick! Wow, what are you doing? Wop up, wop up. Poor bubby. Oh, another thing too. The girls aren't picking on him, which is probably another good sign. When a chook is sick, detrimentally sick, often the other chooks will pick on that sick chook to the point sometimes they will even kill another chook in the flock. Here we go with the head bobbing. Because I think the theory is that if there's a sick chook in the flock, that it is kind of a signature to predators to come and, you know, that there's a flock there because there's a smell associated. So they could not be attacking because he's sick, but not detrimental sick. I don't know. I'm grabbing at straws. We'll see. Suna! She's the disabled one. Some days her leg is looking better, and some days it's like, the cold days are the worst for her. You okay, Freya? Hey, honey. Yep, up, 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 up. Yep, up, 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 up. Wop, wop. Sooner. Anyway, I go get myself together. Procrastinating. My poor boy. See how we go. This afternoon, I'll get back. I'll do a follow-up, and I'll give my follow through. What's happening? What's going to happen? You know, at the end of the day, if I was to choose between ducks and chooks, hands down ducks. It's just, they're so much easier to care for. And partly, I mean, they have issues with their feet. They can get goofball injuries from being goofballs. But, you know, they're in water so much and they're always cleaning and preening. They just don't get as many diseases and infections that chooks get. And I also find it's easier to handle a duck than it is to a chook. They're flippers. They're softer, they're easier to hold, whereas the chook has talons, and I literally allow the chooks to use my hand as a roosting pole so they can wrap their talons around my arm, sort of thing. And it could just be that I don't handle my chooks as much as I do my ducks. I mean, my ducks are handled pretty much morning, noon and night, you know, and they sleep inside the house. Whereas chooks are sort of left more to their own devices, you know. outside of me feeding and cleaning up after them on the daily. But, we'll see.